In today's video, we are checking out one of the best Ben 10 mods available, with a whole journey to find and build the Omnitrix, unlock a ton of different aliens, each with their own unique powers, and even be able to fully customize your own alien tech. So let's just jump straight into it. So around half a year ago, I decided to check out the Palladium mod, and since the first ever add-on that I checked out with this mod was the Ben 10 one, I decided to hop back on and check out the new updates. And in that last video, I only actually checked out a couple of my favorites, but today we are going to be checking out a hell of a lot more aliens. So let me take you all the way back to the start. So when you first check out this mod, it might seem a little technical on how to actually get started. So what I've got set up here is 3 different crafting recipes that you'll definitely need in order to make your first Omnitrix. But apart from the titanium right here, which is pretty common in Palladium mods, you're going to want to focus on this stuff, which is Galvan scrap. You're also going to want to focus on the crystals and the actual heart of the Omnitrix, aka the core right here. And to find this stuff, you do actually have to go on a bit of an adventure. And as far as I know, these structures that you're going to be looking for aren't actually biome specific, so they can basically appear anywhere. So starting off with the core right here, you're going to be on the hunt for a spaceship that has crashed. And yeah, you can't really miss it because this thing is absolutely enormous. And honestly, you wouldn't be in the wrong if you wanted to turn this into your base because it does look really sick. And yeah, if you wanted to stock up on frog lights, these guys have definitely got you covered. So if we go ahead and just break into this right here, this is the interior of the crashed ship, which is where if you head to the front of the ship right here, you'll see a chest that's surrounded by these end rods. And inside right here, you'll actually find some of the materials that you're going to be needing. So we've got like the Galvan scrap, we've got some of the shards right here, which regardless of which color shards they are, you'll definitely need them. So make sure to pick them up. But the main thing that we're looking for, if we head down this hallway right here, which looks so sick, like the design of this looks so cool. So at the end of this hallway, you'll be presented with the core right here, this insanely glowy room. And as you can see, hovering on top of this podium is the actual Omnitrix core itself. So all you need to do is literally run into it, and there you go right there. That's literally step 1. And so once we've got that, we're going to be looking out for another structure. This one, thankfully, is literally right next to the one that we just checked out. And this is the Galvan Priory right here, or the mine itself. And there you go. We even got the sacred circuitry advancement as well. So to get the rest of the materials that we need, you can actually just drop down into here. And you'll see that there's a bunch of these glowing different crystals right here. Again, these are definitely worth picking up, so make sure you do. Along with a simple chest right here, which has some lead, some classic iron, along with a bunch more shards. But the main thing you're going to be looking for is more of the scrap. So you're just going to want to brush away all this suspicious gravel right here. There we go, we got some titanium right there as well. But like I was saying, the main thing you're going to want to look for is this Galvan stuff. And there you go right there. So we actually get 1 per block. So you definitely need to do a little bit of brushing to find this stuff. But trust me when I say it's all going to be worth it in the end. But if you've had no luck finding stuff in the mines, you can actually come into this building right here. And there's actually quite a few little characters in here to check out. Like these little cartographers right here, which you can actually right click. And they sell things like ancient keys. But I can't lie, I honestly have no idea what any of that stuff is. So yeah, let's get back to it. But right at the top of the tower, you will find a whole bunch more chests. And these actually have stuff that is going to be very useful. So after your journey on finding all these different materials, we can actually get into crafting your very first Omnitrix, which again are these recipes that I had at the beginning. If you are getting confused, definitely download JEI so you can actually see all the different like crafting recipes for stuff. But after crafting it, you will be given the prototype Omnitrix right here. And all you need to do is just give this a right click. There you go, and it will slap itself on your wrist right there. And yeah, this thing, just like in the show, it really doesn't come off easily. So yeah, just be wary of that. So now that you've actually got an Omnitrix, let me show you what it actually does. So if we go ahead and press E and we're in our inventory right here, you'll see a little power button right here that looks like the Omnitrix face. Click that, and this is basically where you're going to be able to update and upgrade your Omnitrix. And as you can see, I've updated all these just for the sake of the video. And to unlock any of these, you will actually need to get skill points right here on the top left. And this is where we can get upgrades like detransforming at will. We can get things like the quick change right here, which basically allow you to change into aliens from an alien state, you know, rather than going back to human and then changing again, or even the choice to remove the core and basically set it to self-destruct. So yeah, you got to be careful with this thing. It's pretty powerful. And on the right hand side of this menu, you will be able to see that you can actually change the glow and the color of the Omnitrix. So say if we wanted a light blue one, and there you go right there. So you can actually have a blue Omnitrix if you wanted to. You can literally have any color that you want, and this even applies when you're not even using it. So even whilst you have this thing on and the color set, it will actually show that color, which is a really nice little detail. But for the sake of nostalgia, we'll just stick with the classic green for this one. So on the right, you will be able to see that we get 2 main abilities straight off the bat right there. First one being V, where we can actually press that. It brings the Omnitrix up like you saw. And then we can actually use the scroll wheel to check out all the other aliens that we've actually got here, which I'm pretty sure is the first like classic 10 aliens right here. And then we also have B right here, where we can actually input different codes, as well as actually decoupling the whole thing from us. So if you wanted to hide it away for a little bit, that's probably the best way to do it. But I don't know who in their right mind would want to take this off because it is pretty sick. So going over some of the aliens right here, last time in the video, we actually checked out a good couple, but there was actually quite a few that we didn't check out. Like for example, Diamondhead right here. Check this out. Look at this guy. And you can see right there on our chest and our eyes are actually the same color that we set the Omnitrix to, so it will actually carry over any customization that you do to any of the aliens. But as Diamondhead, the first ability that we unlock is like a barrier, So if we press that, we can actually just start building with this crystal stuff right here. And, you know, this can be really handy if you're in a sticky situation. If you actually need to build, I'm pretty sure we can actually, we can just build upwards like that. But eventually, as you see right there, they are all going to disappear. So it is actually a time thing. You can't use these blocks for basically anything else. Yeah, you're basically just going to fall right back down. But still a really, really handy ability to have if you're under fire or anything like that. So if we go back into our menu right here, you'll see that we actually have a whole new menu basically dedicated to each alien right there, as you see. On the right, we've got all the stats, the HP, the toughness, the regen, all that good stuff. And for some reason, the UI is a little bit big, so I can't actually read it all, but it is there if you want it. And then, of course, in the middle here, we have a skill tree, just like we saw with the Omnitrix, where we can go ahead and basically just unlock all this stuff. Again, these do require skill points, which to actually get the alien skill points, you get it by killing mobs. The higher the HP, the more XP is rewarded. So let me go ahead and just unlock all of these. And you can see there on the right that all of our abilities are now in order. So our second ability right here is a pillar. So this is a really good way of getting out the way of danger or, you know, getting the high ground. But very similar to the ability that we had in slot 1, these are eventually going to break. For the next ability, I'm going to get some of our trusty volunteers and go ahead and press our third ability right here, which is spikes. Look at that. That looks so cool. And yeah, as you can see, it is pretty damaging as well. It's very similar to like the evoker, but you know, a hell of a lot cooler. And then for the last main ability as Diamondhead, we go ahead and press M. And now we mean business. Look at that. And this is where we get the combination of like the diamond shard right here, which is literally a one tap. Like these guys do not stand a chance. Or if you want to play more defensively, we also have a shield right here as well that actually rotates. And I'm not sure if this actually does damage them or not. Oh my God, it does. Okay. Imagine this coming towards you. Like that is actually terrifying. And then if you want to come out of the battle mode, you go ahead and press M again, and then you're straight back to normal. Or, you know, straight back to normal. So the next alien I want to check out is actually Stinkfly right here, which again is just an absolute classic when it comes to the originals. And just like I've come to expect with this mod, all the models in this just look so sick. Like that is so perfect. How they've made these guys and basically every other alien, like damn. Like look at each of the individual eyes as well. Like they move, like the idle animation, you got the arms moving, the wings. The wings look insane, by the way. And just like before, if we go into the menu right here, you will be able to see all the different abilities that we can have. But one of Stinkfly's passive abilities is, of course, we can actually fly. And look at the animation on those wings as well. That looks so sick. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it on the video, but there is a really, really faint like insect noise that actually comes from this. And we can actually fly pretty damn fast as this guy as well. And again, the flight on this feels really, really smooth. Yeah, overall, just really easy to control. So once again, let's place down some volunteers again. And let's go over the abilities right here. So the first one being a slime shot. There we go right there. I'm not sure if that actually does any damage to these guys. They seem to just, you know, be chilling. But the next one being a spit ability, and this one definitely does damage to them, as you can see right there. It is pretty dangerous if you can actually hold it on them. We have the toxic gas ability right here, which if you're in a crowd and you want to get out of there, go ahead and press that. It's going to poison basically anybody that's nearby. And as you can see, these guys are absolutely going nuts right now. The next ability we have is like a sonar type ability, which if we press that, will basically highlight every entity that's nearby, including that villager all the way over there running away, and even things like item frames and a random horse that I just saw. Yeah, I honestly don't know what that horse is doing in there, but we'll just leave him. But yeah, Stinkfly is actually really, really sick. Even when you crouch, you go into like this stealth pose right here, which would be terrifying to look up on a building and see this thing looking at you. Up next, we have Ripjaws, aka the Fishman. And yeah, to showcase some of Ripjaws' abilities, we're going to have to find some water. And yeah, it's definitely not worth using Ripjaws outside of water because as you can see, we are slowly going to be losing oxygen. So yeah, just a heads up on that one. All right, so now that we're at the docks, I can actually show you guys this power. There we go, we transform just like that. And when we are in water, as you can see, instead of the legs, we do get the merman tail. And yeah, swimming as this guy, you can swim very, very fast. Like, this is way quicker than Dolphin's Grace for sure. So once again, if we go into the menu right here, we get all the little stats about him, a little bit of information, and of course, him on the left right there, just chilling. Let's go ahead and unlock all these abilities. So the first ability that we have, if we are on water or even on land, is that one right there. It's like a chomp. So you can just go ahead and just chomp anything you like. But we also get things like a whirlpool right here, which you might not be able to see too well, but we're basically creating like a vacuum under the water right now. Which if I place a volunteer right there and then slowly submerge, and then I go ahead and actually use that ability, there you go right there. You can actually start to see how much damage we're doing to that guy right there, as well as me just flying around underwater. But if that doesn't work, you can actually just fly out the water and give him a chomp just like that. We have a tidal wave type ability, which is this one here, which is basically just throwing out like a water projectile. But you'll see that as soon as we actually start breathing air, our abilities completely change. And we actually get our legs back as well. Look at that. Which is where we get really cool abilities like the tail whip, so we can actually do a front flip just like that. As well as actually being able to hold onto things like that. As you can see, we can actually hold onto stuff. You know, so if you wanted to hang onto a boat or something and creep people out, yeah, this is probably the best way to do it. Let me see if I can actually jump on the boat right here. Oh, just about. There we go. So yeah, Ripjaws, definitely one of my all-time favorites, but, you know, a little bit creepy. And then the last main alien I want to showcase in today's video is that one right there, aka Ghostfreak. Let's check this out. Look at this dude right here. Now, this guy is definitely creepy. Look at the eye. The eye actually moves. Look at that. That is so cool. Like, out of all the Palladium mods that I've checked out, like, this one is definitely up there. Like, it's so well made. And even if you're not the biggest fan of Ben 10, just having all these abilities to mess around with is just so worth it. So let's go ahead and upgrade all these abilities again. And as you can probably tell, being a ghost, we can actually fly around, as well as just walking on the floor, which looks a little bit weird, but I mean, you know, you do you. So the first ability is going completely invisible. Literally no sign of you anywhere. Like, there is not going to be any sign that you're anywhere nearby when you actually use this ability. You are completely invisible, and you can just toggle that on and off whenever you want to. We have things like the tentacle scare. Just like that. Look at that. That is actually horrifying. Oh my god. Which I actually want to try this on the villagers, see if it gives them like any special effects or anything like that. All right, here we go. Oh, it does. It does actually damage them. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what debuff that is because there isn't actually any like potion particles, but it could be like blindness, fear, anything like that. But yeah, it's usually going to end up like that. We also have moves like the Tentacle Strike, which is like an aggressive version of that last one. And this one actually does have a little bit of a cooldown as well. But from the front, it does look a little something like this. There you go. You actually open up your chest and then all the tentacles fly out. And then one of Ghostfreak's best ability is the ability to actually go through stuff right here. And the skin actually changes. Like, I'm glad that when you go invisible, you're fully invisible, but like you could just hold this down and be creepy if you wanted to be. It's almost like the colors like completely invert like they do in the show. It's really well made. And then if we press that again, we'll return right back to our normal form. So yeah, those are just a couple of the aliens I wanted to show you guys that I missed out in the last video. But if I actually go ahead and type in a command, which is alien evo randomize, this is going to completely change up the aliens that we have available. As originally I thought that this mod only had like the base 10 aliens, but yeah, it really doesn't. Which is where we can get other characters like Cannonball, this guy who I actually have no idea about, that guy right there. Yeah, I was more of a classic 10 alien Ben 10 kind of guy, but yeah, this guy looks pretty wild and also absolutely ginormous, as you see right there. So that is going to cut it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed like a follow-up video from the last one. And of course, it's always fun coming back to this mod. Like, with all the upgrades, it's constantly being worked on and updated and all that good stuff. And the features that they're adding is just so sick. So yeah, definitely check this one out if you're a Ben 10 fan or if you just want some cool powers. But if you did enjoy the video of me yapping about Ben 10, definitely hit the like button down below, leave a comment, or even consider subscribing. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.
Bye.